Add him to you.
No, I can't hear you, but can you hear me? Can you hear me, please?
Yes, we can hear you, Uncle.
No, I mean from the call, from the YouTube.
Yes, I can hear you.
Yes, yes. Now I can also hear you.
Uncle, we can hear you. You can start now.
Fantastic. Okay.
I think I should start a call so that I can introduce you later. Is that okay?
Okay.
All right. Hello, everyone. Welcome to our webinar with Avila University. We are sorry for the slight delay in transmission. My name is Andrew. I'm a student counselor with Students Connect. At Students Connect, we guide students through their plan to study abroad, right from the inception of your decision to study abroad. We guide you to choose a program, choose a school, and even to destination if you don't have that plan made up. And we are going to guide you through the application process, follow up with the school so that you get a quick offer. When you get the offer as well, we are going to make sure that your visa is applied and hopefully you are granted and then you join the school in your preferred destination. We have been doing this for the past 13 years with unprecedented success rate. So we are confident that when you decide to join us to embark on your dream to study abroad, hopefully your story can also be a success story. Today we have Avila University. It's located in Missouri, USA. The rep is currently with us, and so he's going to tell us and give us an in-depth knowledge about their school, the application process, tuition fee, and what you are supposed to expect when you decide to join them. So I'll give the floor to a call so that he can take us through. Thank you.
Hi guys, good evening to you all. Thank you, Student Connect, for putting this together. And I also want to say thank you to the team for helping to do the setup. So my name is Eko, like Eko Fori, as Andrew said earlier, and I represent Avila University in Ghana. So this presentation will be a very brief but comprehensive one, and I'm sure that by the time the presentation is over, you should be able to have a very comprehensive knowledge about Avila University and also understand the admission processes and the scholarships available at the university. So, Avila University, like Andrew rightfully said, is located in Kansas City, Missouri, in the USA. Please, so in your screen, you see a snapshot of our campus. In fact, the campus, university campus, is located on is situated, sorry, on a 50-acre plot. So, and it's a medium-sized university, and the campus is situated off town, so it allows you to have that very serene environment you need for academic work. So this is also in your slide, some pictures of Kansas City, Missouri. In fact, Kansas City, the Kansas City Chiefs Stadium is one of the stadiums that will be hosting the 2026 World Cup. So for those of you who are soccer enthusiasts or those of you who are very interested in sports, you may want to consider Avila University, because I mean, if you end up at Avila, your city will be hosting the World Cup, and that will also give you the opportunity to be very close to all of the action that will be ensuing during the World Cup. Thank you. Matthew, please, the next slide. Sorry, can we move on to the next slide, please? So, thank you. So, these are some of the companies that are located within Kansas City. The slide before, you would have seen some of the companies located. We have Citibank, there's Walmart, there's there are different a number of good companies. In fact, Kansas City is known to host over 100 of the Fortune 500 companies. So there's Boeing, there is AT&T, there's Amazon. In the past, we've had zero difficulties with students getting jobs after school. In fact, it is one of the things that we boast about, that most of our students get jobs after school within short within a very short time. And so if you consider Avila University, one of the benefits, one of the dividends that you read from your studies is that you are going to get a very good return on investment, and you are going to get jobs. In fact, we have students having jobs whilst they're in school and also getting jobs after school. And in the past, our students don't struggle to find jobs. Please, the next slide. So I think I've talked a bit about this, about Avila Invest already. So please let's move on to the next slide. Okay, and then I would like us to look at the program. So let's go to programs of undergraduate students. Yes, then the next slide, please. Yes, the next slide, please. Yes, so the next slide. Yes, thank you. So Avila University has a number of programs on offer for our bachelor's degree programs. So the designation, you can either choose from a Bachelor of Science or a Bachelor of Arts program. We have Bachelor of Science courses or Bachelor of Arts courses in accounting, business administration, finance, healthcare administration, supply chain management. We have biology, we have computer science. So the courses that are marked are all STEM courses. So for instance, professional health science is a STEM course, kinesiology is a STEM course. Kinesiology is synonymous to physiotherapy. Cybersecurity is a STEM course as well. So all these programs are available at Avila University, and we have three main intakes for our bachelor's degree programs. We have the spring intake. Currently, we have some students who are already some have already arrived on campus. Some will be traveling in the coming weeks. Some are already in the US. Will be arriving on campus in the coming weeks to start the spring intake. Aside spring, we also have the summer intake, which we admit undergraduate students. Then we have the fall intake. So there are three main intakes for undergraduate students. There is the spring intake, which is in January, the spring one intake. Then there is the summer intake, which is in May, and then we have the fall intake, which is in August. So if you are looking at pursuing any of these courses, these are the three main intakes that we have available for undergraduate students. Please let's move on to the next slide. So for master's degree programs, we have a number of MBA courses, and so we have MBA General, there's MBA Healthcare Administration, MBA International Business, MBA Management, Marketing, Accounting, Healthcare. We recently launched the MBA Healthcare Administration, which is a STEM. Previously, we only had the MBA version and not the STEM version. So, and in the past, we've had a lot of students with background in the health sector enrolling onto this program. We've had nurses, we've had even doctors applying to this program. So it's a very good program for students who are coming from the health sciences. It's always a good choice. And thankfully, we now have a STEM option that students who want to concentrate on STEM can choose. And aside that, we have the MS Kinesiology, we have MA Management. So for the MA Management, we have a concentration That one focuses purely on management. Then we have an MBA project management course, which is also a STEM course. Then we have for our STEM courses, we have them grouped under MS Technology Management. So, for instance, we have business analytics, cybersecurity, computer science, data science, artificial intelligence, engineering operations. All of these are grouped under the Master of Science in Technology Management courses. Please, the next slide. So generally, we require students to have a GPA of 2.5 out of 4.0 for both undergraduate and for master's students. Um, for undergraduate student, that means that the student should at least should have passed four of their core subjects, and then two other electives that are related to their program of study. And we have an internal team that calculates the GPA. So we have a team that works on that. But generally, for undergraduate students, the students should have scored at least a 2.5 out of 4.0. Please, the next slide. I will not dwell on this because for Ghanaian students, for students who complete their bachelor's education in Ghana, we have the pool of English language requirement waived for such students, and also for students who may be Ghanaians but completed their bachelor's from a country that is not known to be a majority English speaking country. For some of these countries, we will need a proof of English language proficiency, or we will need a student to provide a proof of English language proficiency exam, and like IELTS or TOEFL or Duolingo. So for such countries, in the next slide, we'll have a list, and you can tell if the country that you completed your bachelor's in would mean that you now require to prove that you have competency in the English language. Please, the next slide. So, for citizens from the following country are exempt. In other words, students who complete their bachelor's education from any of these countries are not required to provide a proof of English language proficiency. So you could see that Ghana is right there. Some other countries are also stated there. But if you, for instance, you complete your bachelor's education in a country that is not on this list, then we may need you to provide a test to prove that you have proficiency in the English language. Please, the next slide. So, cost of tuition fees. Generally, the tuition fee before scholarship for undergraduate students is 41,200. We give a scholarship of $25,815 per year, and after that, the tuition fee comes down to around $15,000 per year for undergraduate students. And you also see the cost of room and board for the entire year is the average is 12,820, and then we have health insurance and other costs. And other costs will usually depend on the taste of the student generally. So generally for a bachelor's degree student, the students will need an estimated 37151 per year for the cost of their studies. But the actual tuition fee the student would have to pay is $15,385 after the scholarship is subtracted. Please, let's move on to the masters. For master's degree programs, costs for all the programs, they have the same tuition fees. So for both STEM and non-STEM courses, for now, they both have the same tuition fees. So tuition fee for master's degree programs before scholarship is 10,800. Scholarship is 2,500 per year. So the actual tuition fee is $8,300 per year. This makes Avila University's graduate programs some of the most competitive across the US, because it's only a few universities in the US that can match up to this price for the level of education that the student gets. So room and board is also 12,820, 12,820, sorry. And health insurance is 2,100. Other costs, book supplies, etc., is $646. So total tuition and fees before scholarship is $26,366. Please let's move on to the next slide. Okay, so generally, for a complete application, we'll need a student to provide their passports, their transcript, the academic certificate, and proof of English language proficiency, and a bank statement showing that for undergraduate students, they have a minimum of 37151, or for master students, 23866 in their bank account before we can issue them an unconditional offer. And for transfer students, that is for a student who already has admission and then visa to study in a university in the US, but may want to transfer to Avila University. We will need a copy of their passport, transcript, degree certificate, proof of English language proficiency, their I-94 form. This form is given to the students as they enter the US. Then the current I-20 document and US address, copy of visa, official transcript from US institution. This will be for students who have already studied for a while. But for those who are yet to commence their studies, they will not need official transcripts from the US institution. So generally, these are the documents we will require for a typical application. Please, the next slide. So we have a student center of excellence that helps students to settle in whilst they migrate from Ghana to the US, especially for students who may travel with their families. We have a student center that provides counseling services, career services, helps students with the processing F2 I-20s for their family members. So it's a very resourceful center, and I usually encourage students to make the best of the services that this center provides. Please, the next slide. Student life. So for students who are interested in sports, who are interested in all manner of activities, including theater, arts, there are a plethora of groups and events that usually take place on campus, and students can join any of these groups according to their interests and then their aspirations. There are no limits in that regard. Please, the next slide. Housing. So these are some of the pictures of on-campus accommodation. I think I mentioned the fees earlier, so I will not dwell on this. But you could just see these are pictures of some of the halls located on campus. Please, the next slide. Yes, so typically a student can choose from a suite, a single or double or triple. Single means that you share the room with no one. You are the only person in the room. Double means you share it with two people, and triple means there are two people in the room. And with this means that you share the bathroom mainly. And there's also for shared accommodation, there's usually a common area as well. But for a suite, the student has their washroom and a kitchen to themselves. And the student can also choose to add a meal plan. This is typically often subscribed to by an undergraduate student. So the student can choose from a 19 meals per week, 19 meals week plan, 14 meals week plan, and then 7 meals per week meal plan. So the student can choose from any of these depending on what their choice is. Please, the next slide. So we require all graduate students to live on campus for at least the first semester, and then for undergraduate students, we require them to live on campus at least for 2 years of their undergraduate study. But if the student can prove that they have family or relatives within the Kansas City, Missouri area, they can be allowed to live off campus. Please, the next slide. Thank you all very much. We've come to the end of the presentation. Please, if you have any questions, I'm open to take questions at this point. Thank you.
Okay. Echo, please, what is the turnaround time should somebody apply? So, say I apply today, how long will it take for me to get my offer letter? Hello, Echo. Hello.
Hi, Andrew. Sorry, I had muted myself.
All right.
But I was saying, whilst I was on mute, I was saying that when a student submits an application, within 3 working days, we have something we call the acknowledgement of application email that we send to the students. And generally, within 2 weeks, we can issue offer and I-20. One thing that I didn't add is that we require students to pay an I-20 fee of $200. And the moment the student gets the initial email, we also have something we call offer in principle that we send to the student after the initial email of that is sent to the student to say that we acknowledge the receipt of the application. We send the offer in principle letter, and with that the student can proceed to pay their $200 I-20 enrollment fee. And the good thing about this amount is that initially we were not charging this amount. Andrew, I'm sure you know about this because I've been
Yes.
coming to your office earlier and I didn't mention this. But we introduced this to filter the numbers and to ensure that we have the right students. We are able to concentrate on the students that need our attention the most. So with a $200 deposit, we go ahead to issue I-20, and therefore we can issue I-20 within 2 weeks. In some instances, it's even shorter. So depending on how soon the student can pay their I-20 deposit, that will also affect how soon the I-20 will be issued. And I must also add that the $200 that the student pays will be credited towards the student's tuition fees when the student moves to campus. So, for instance, you pay $200 for I-20, you get your visa. After you arrive on campus, the $200 is automatically credited to your account. Therefore, now your tuition fee becomes less of $200. I hope it makes
Oh,
sense.
that's good. That's great. I
Thank you,
think
sir.
previously we also understand that you don't have to pay any initial deposit until when your visa has been approved. Is it
Yes,
still
yes, yes, Andrew. Thanks for that question. That's a very good one. So we do not require students to make any payment until the visa is approved. However, when the visa is approved, we require for undergraduate students for them to pay $12,000 out of their 15,385 tuition fees before they travel to the US. And for master students, we require them to pay 5,000 USD out of their $8,300 tuition fee for the year.
okay? That's great. Do you have any assistance in terms of visa um, and whatnot, or you'd have to rely on us?
Can you please repeat the question?
I'm saying that does your student service department have any assistance in terms of visa,
Yes,
the
yes. So
training?
yes, we have a team that assists students provide visa appointment training sessions with the students. In fact, the student can take that session as many times as they may require, and we have that is to help students have a general idea of how the the visa appointment session is going to look like. So in the past, I mean, most of our students who take this often end up doing very well in getting their visas. In fact, Avila University is among the US universities in Africa with some of the highest visa rates at this particular time. You can and this is general info which you can verify for yourself. So I mean we are doing very well within the market, and our visa rates have increased significantly. And I think one of the reasons for that is we have a very good team that helps the students to prepare for their visa appointment interviews. And also, we will also need the help of Student Connect, because you see, what we do is we'll issue I-20s to the student, but then the student need that support from you guys, and do with respect to their visa application. And also, they can also have another training session with you just to top up on what we provide for them.
That's fantastic. So please, if you are listening to us and you are interested in going to Avila University after this session, I would kindly ensure that you reach out to us so that we can pick your whether you want to go in summer or in fall next year, so that we begin your as soon as possible. Before I let you go, I wanted to ask you, excuse me, what about uh, I think that's keep moving. So I'll ask you this. I'll leave the floor. Does anybody have any question to ask before he leaves? Michelin, do you have any question to ask? Samuel, do you have any question to ask?
I think that whilst we wait, Andrew, for people to
I
ask
think
questions,
Michelin. Yeah. Mhm.
I'll just like to add that we have a number of intakes available within the year, especially for master's degree students. So we are open for spring one intake, which is in January. Then we have spring two, which is in March. And aside March, we have another intake in May, which is the summer intake.
Okay.
Then aside May, we have an intake in July, and aside July, we have August, and after August, we also have October. So we have quite a number of intakes within the year. Almost every 3 months, we have an intake. Therefore,
Okay.
students can make use of this opportunity, to join us almost every 3 months, especially for those who may not be successful at the first instance with their visas. Um, the multiple intakes allows them to give it a second shot, and even perhaps a third shot, so that they can exhaust their opportunities fully.
Okay. The question that was another question that one I asked earlier was the estimation for living expenses in Missouri. How much should one estimate as living expenses in addition to the tuition fee for raising the bank statement for the visa or the
Okay, so typically, if you check the slides that we shared earlier, what we have there is accumulation of what the students will have for undergraduate students is about $37,000, and that includes the tuition fee, the health insurance, cost of room and board, books, and other ancillary costs. It is the same thing for master's degree students as well. Master's degree students, they will need around $23,000 for the bank statement. And the good thing about Avila is that for students who are not self-sponsored, we allow them to provide bank statements in the name of their parents or in the name of a third party. And usually they will need to, we send out an affidavit of support, which we send to the students. The moment the student gets the application acknowledgement email, that email comes along with the affidavit of support um, letter, which the student has to complete. And the sponsor of the student has to complete in order to demonstrate the relationship between the sponsor and the student. So, I mean, these are options that the students can explore, especially for those who are not self-sponsored. I must say, Andrew, that I have noticed a very worrying trend, especially among Ghanaian students, that as you're having this webinar, someone may
Mhm,
join and may get the
mhm.
information, then goes ahead to apply, because maybe they want to avoid charges that they have to pay to the respective agency, or I don't know what the reason may be. But then, per the data that I have, most of the students who apply directly are more likely to be refused than those that go through agencies. In fact, the
Okay.
number of students that I personally know who have not been successful compared to those who went through agents are way higher than those who didn't go through agents. So I just want to add that for anyone on this call or who may come across this video at some time later, please do well to contact Student Connect for them to provide you the necessary assistance. And I know that the team is a very flexible team and they don't charge for applications. That is what I know. I don't know if it has changed, Andrew.
No, it hasn't changed. We don't charge for applications. We only charge for visa preparation,
Fantastic.
the interview
Fantastic.
that we take you through, and it's as little as 5,000 Ghana cedis. And if that, as you said, we are very flexible. Then we don't take so we make sure that you go through the process. Then we try and sort of give you a payment plan that you are able to comfortably defray that thing. So we are flexible.
Fantastic. And even and even it may interest you to know that the guys at Student Connect are my friends, so I can even negotiate for a discount for you. The key thing is that we need to see that you are very serious about it and you are looking to explore the opportunity. If that's the case, then I can also go out of my way to speak and to my friends at Student Connect to get you a discount. So please, what I'll say is that as much as possible, try to get help, try to get the necessary advice that you need because you are more likely to reach me if you go through Student Connect compared to if first because as I'm speaking now, I'm not leaving my contact details here. So there's no way you could reach me. But then you are more likely to reach me for even to get my thoughts on something if you go through Student Connect. So please do well to use the opportunity and the counsel available at Student Connect to ensure that your entire process is as seamless as possible and will yield the fruits that you want it to yield.
Okay. I think you have taken the last words out of my mouth. So I think we will be done for
Yes, thank you again, student. Thank you to Mame, to all of to Andrew, to Michelin, to Simon, all of you guys for putting this together. And Merry
thank you.
Christmas in
Thank you,
advance
Echo.
to you guys too. Merry Christmas
Yeah.
to all our viewers.
Merry Christmas to you too.
Thank you. Please, I have a question. Oh,
Oh, somebody has a question.
yes. I want to know
Andrew,
if
someone has a question.
you
Sure,
accept.
we can accommodate it.
Please go ahead with your question.
Please, I want to know if you accept third class students and for which courses do you have available for third class students?
Unfortunately, we do not accept third class because of ranking. We wanting to maintain a certain rank, we unfortunately have to do away with third class. So we if you may have a third class, but if your GPA is at least 2.5 out of 4.0, we can't take you. In fact, so in the past, I've seen some students have third class, but when they do an international transcript evaluation, the GPA turns out to be above 2.5. So maybe what you can do is to even perhaps connect with Student Connect for them to help you to do the international transcript evaluation. And you may be shocked to find out that your GPA may come out to be more than 2.5 out of 4.0. And the moment that's the case, then we can accept you.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Echo, I think, um, does anybody have a question? If not, then I think Echo, I can let you go.
Okay, thank you guys. Enjoy your
Thank
evening.
you. Thank you. To enjoy.
Thank you too.